Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dylan, and I'm back again with another comic book review. Now, today, I want to do a review on the DollHouse family, issue 2. Now, if you've checked any of my other recent reviews on any of these Joe Hill Presents Hill House comics, you know I've been going nuts in anticipation for all these books. Especially, the Sea Dogs has been kind of slow just because it's only 2 pages. I have been enjoying it, but it's slow. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. But the Dollhouse family, it seems like everyone seems to like this better than Basket Full of Heads. I don't know if I would say I like it better than Basket Full of Heads, but it still is a fantastic story. And we start exactly where we left off, where Alice has, just killed her father with a damn hammer, just bashed his damn brains in, and now she's basically speaking with child services, and she won't talk at this point. She won't say a word. She's basically turned herself into a mute over, over going through all this tragic shit, you know what I mean? And she even says like she's like speaking in her head, but the words just won't come out. She's like she wants to scream like I did it. I killed him, but her lips won't move. And because at this point, like, child services doesn't even like think it's her, Alice. Cause I don't know if it's because the mom already like admitted like it was me, I did it, just make sure my daughter is looked after and tell her that I love her. But off rip, they just don't think it was her, and they just think she's traumatized at this point from seeing her mother kill her father. But her mother was getting her ass beat by the husband. Like, the dude was a straight piece of shit beating on his wife. So she ends up in a children's home. So I don't know how well she's being looked after, especially with this fucking nasty ass redhead bitch that literally bullies and treats her like she's absolute garbage from the moment she uh, walks into this house. Like, anytime that who is it, the I think she maybe runs the children's home. Whenever this lady is not around, she is completely harassing Alice. And the first night she's there, she's sleeping, and what happens? Like, the girl, what's her name? Is it Jenny? I think it's Jenny, maybe. Whatever the redhead girl's name is. She's like, "Hey, new kid, get up." She's like, "I saw your file. It says you're an elective mute. That means you can talk if you want to. So talk." Like, what the fuck is that shit? And she's like, "No, nothing. Like, it's got to be yours. It didn't just spring out of the ground." So in her sleep, the dollhouse is just emerged at the foot of her bed, and she's just jealous as hell. She's like, "The rest of us don't get to keep our favorite toys or jump the line for a solo bed." She's like, "You're a cute little bitch, aren't you?" And then she straight yanks her by her hair off the bed. She's like, "Well, get on the wrong side of me and you won't be." And then the dollhouse, while she's on the ground, she's like, the dollhouse is like, "Just say it, Alice, just say it. Speak the spell and come back to us. Like, we miss you. Like, why can't we all play together again?" And she turns her head in silence. And then we cut back to 1826 Dublin, where the guy who was in the cave, I don't know if they say his exact name at one point. What, hold on. Whatever his name is, the guy that got lost in the cave in the first issue, he's now in the hospital, and he was lost. They say that he was lost for 8 days. Just so he's like, I guess I was lost. I was wandering around. I didn't really know what was real because that one. I'm thinking she's some type of demon because later on we even see that she's like still butt naked. She must always be naked in that cave, but she had a weird tail, like a demonic tail or something. And he basically says, that he's done with his job and that there's a lot more to life than that. And you know what there is more to his life? He's taking a shine to his nurse. So he quickly goes like, "I want to marry you, like, I want to be with you, like, marry me." And then nobody can say anything to us because she's like, "Oh my God, like, are you mad?" Like, men always have some fascination with their nurse or something. Like, they go all funny with their nurses. And she's like, you know, she's like, you just better kiss me now or something. She's like, but as to the marriage, hear me out first and make up your mind. Because the thing about her is that she's barren, I guess. She cannot have children. So that's a thing, I guess. You know, that's something you have to tell your partner. I mean, not legally, but something that's good to know, I guess. So it looks like it looks like Alice has been in this child's home for a few years now, because the beginning is 1983 and then we cut to 1985 because it says like time. I was never very good with, but Alice is older now, so this must be later. And it looks like the children's home is having kind of like a thing where they have parents come in and they can, you know, talk to the children and see which one they might like and which one might have a chance, which one they might be interested in adopting or having like a trial placement, is what the one lady says. And as they're thinking about maybe doing a trial placement with Alice, she's building this like junk heap sculpture, as the nasty redhead that's always bothering her says. And she's using the screwdriver and she's like, gonna jump the queue again, aren't you, cutie pie? She's like, no, you're fucking not. And then she's like trying to rip the screwdriver from her hand. Dumbass bitch ends up cutting herself. And she's like, oh my god, help me, help me. And then the lady is like, Jenny, what happened? They're like, she stabbed me, miss. Look, I just wanted to look at her mechanical thing and she went for me with the screwdriver. And then they end up taking Jenny to the infirmary. Alice has to go into the punishment room and be locked in. And then the parents that were gonna possibly adopt her, you know, take care of her for some time and see how it worked, they're like, oh my god, like, what has she done? Like, this girl is crazy. And man, I feel for the girl. And she's thrown into that locker room, and then we cut to 1827, and you know, the man, damn, what is his name? Whatever his name is, the guy that was lost in the cave, he is, oh, Joe. His name's Joe, and the guy that was lost in the cave, he comes to his parents to say, I'm gonna marry this woman, and like, they're like these rich snobs, or they're like, like, your recent experiences must have addled your mind. Like, otherwise you'd realize a marriage without issue is impossible. And like, she's barren, she cannot give you a child. And he's like I will not speak of this type of bullshit with you guys. Like, I love this woman. And he's like, I'm quite he's like, it's quite kind of you to be solicitous, whatever the fuck that word is. He's like, thank you, but, you know, I'm good. My head is fine. And he's like, I just, you know, it's clear enough to see that present happiness matters more than uncertain prosperity. I hope you'll come and see us married. If not, goodbye to both of you. And it's actually funny, unless he says, Godbye, you both, there was a error in spelling. And I noticed, man, in these comics, there are more and more spelling errors than there damn well should be. And it's kind of, I mean, don't they do any spell check or rereads? But they cannot sway him. He holds to his purpose, and so it begins his life. And we get a little nudity, not really nudity, but a little sex scene with the lovely couple. And like I said, the woman, look at that tail behind her. She's still in that damn cave, butt-ass naked. But it's like, this was, no, I misspoke, a pardonable error. This is where it begins, and here it was woven, the stitches picked out with exquisite care in the thin fabric of this tiny little universe. And here it gathers its flood, like an ocean under a Magellan but invisible moon. There's no helping any of them now. So Joe and his wife are having a discussion that he's like, but you said you couldn't. And he's like, I know, Joe, it's a miracle. But if it's a boy, I'd like to name him for my father, Cordwainer. And after they said that name, man, I'm like, dude, isn't one of the guys, one of the people in the DollHouse family, his name is Cordwainer. So he must have made a deal with the DollHouse in the future. because one big thing is the dollhouse says that he's only interested in one family tree. So Alice starts getting all dialed up. She after the lady that takes care, that runs the child services care or whatever, she says, the doctor says it might be a good idea, it might be okay for you to know, to finally be able to speak with your mother. And she gets all dialed up, like gonna see her mom who murdered her dad, gonna probably murder her too. And then Alice probably gives her the sign language for "fuck you, bitch." Like, I don't know if that's exactly what it means, like throwing up like two of your fingers, but and she's like, cheeky little mare, like I'll lamp her when she gets back, like that. This girl Jenny, man, just don't quit. She just don't quit. And then as she's going down, the lady hangs up the phone. She's like, Alice, so sorry. That was Wakefield jail. The governor, there's been an incident. Your mother was in a fight with another inmate. This woman had a knife, a homemade, I don't know. They took her to the hospital, but she'd lost a lot of blood. And I think there was some kind of delay. A problem with supervision. A warder needed to be there. They weren't authorized to. So her mother just died and bled out because some dumbass had to be there to supervise it. Yeah, I mean, just the dumb shit. So Alice is completely broken. If she was broken before, but she is completely shattered at this point. Completely shattered. And, she needs to get away. So she says the words and she goes into the house. And it looks like Jenny was fucking spying on her ass, as usual, all up in her business because she can't hop out of Alice's ass and just leave her alone, like even in one of her worst times. So she saw him, and she heard the exact words that she said, and she's like, shit. She saw her literally go into the dollhouse. And the people in the dollhouse family, they're absolutely happy to see her. So I know the husband, that's Cordwainer, but I wonder if is that really like that? Was this his wife and children, and when he lived in the real world before he made a deal with the black room? But we get an interior of the dollhouse, like artist impression, and that's where I first noticed Cordwainer's workroom. So, and the little girl's name, Peggy O's room, James and Daniel's room, the two boys, and what was the wife's name? I don't know if it really matters at this point, but they're playing, and then the husband actually goes like, what you did was brave and unselfish. Never forget that. Like, why I believe myself when I was younger may once have. And she's like, hush, Cordwainer. Like, we mustn't burden the child with our histories. They'll only make her melancholy. So I think that they definitely, like, this is a family. They were probably a family, or maybe these two, like the husband and wife, were a family, and maybe they had the black room create these children for them, or they were just a complete family together and they made some deal with the black room. We'll find out, though. I mean, that's definitely interesting. But the wife tells him that the black room wants to speak with you, Alice, and we shouldn't keep him waiting. And he's like, how now, Alice? Did the family come for you in your time of need? She's like, yeah, they're lovely. I was sorry to hear about your mother. I had plans for her at one point, but some people are better at getting the message than others. He's like, what message? Why, mine, of course. I couldn't tempt you before, but now you're not happy at the Messiah house, are you? No. And then she's like, well, suppose our Jenny were to get what she deserved, and then you can come and live here with us forever. How would that be? She's like, well, could you bring my mother back? I could make something very, very like her. You'd never know the difference. I think I would. No, thank you. And quickly, she gets thrown out of the dollhouse. And he's like, astonishing. Like, nobody ever made me work this hard before, Alice. But the third time will be the charm, though I promise you. Then we cut to 1828 again. Or the 1800s again. I'm sure it's probably been like a year or something at least. It's got, 9 months or something. But Mrs. Kent, you must bear. See, this woman, she has blonde hair. But this girl has orange hair. Orange hair just like this girl. You know what? I'd say that maybe, what if What if the wife in the DollHouse family with Cordwainer is this like housemaid? Because I mean, Cordwainer or the husband sure does have some servants, or the child ended up marrying this girl. That probably would make more sense because she's a young girl, and then she saw him be born, but I don't know how young she is exactly. And the woman is in, like, about to have a child, and she is screaming and screaming and screaming. As you can see, look at how red her damn face is. She's going through it, man. And all the servants are like, geez, you'd think she was the first woman to ever birth a wee one. They're like, Faith, like, I've had 7 and never made such a fuss. And it won't come. She screams and screams, and it won't come. But it finally does come, and they're like, the redheaded servant's like, Saints preserve us, what happened? A hemorrhage, the worst I've ever seen. The blood came out of her like a river. And he's like, the doctor's like, fetch me a bull. We need to clean her up before make her decent before the master sees. This will break him, so it will. And the doctor hands her what, the uterine metabura, the afterbirth. Take it to the furnace. You have a furnace, have you not? So I'm wondering who this woman, this girl, this young redheaded girl is. But we'll probably find out next issue. And then she goes down to the furnace to throw this away. And I think is actually before she must go open the furnace. I didn't really actually think of this till just now. She must set the bowl down with the afterbirth thing, whatever it is that and it must have, whatever it was, took it out of the bowl. And she thinks it's a rat. She's like, oh, will you now? A fucking rat? Is it a rat? Well, she says a fecking rat. And she's like, that's going in the fire, not into you. Yep, I don't know why I didn't pick that up. She's like, not into you, so it's not meant for you to eat. It's supposed to go into the fire. You'll wish you'd not task me, you little gobshit. Filth that you are. I see you. You'll not be hiding from. And then she goes, like, so something is back there, and I highly doubt it's a fucking rat. But it's probably, dude, who knows what the hell it is. I can't wait. I'm actually really interested to see what that's gonna be. And we cut back to 1986, and so it's actually been another year. So what? Alice has just been sitting at the window for like a year straight since her mother died. And Jenny's like, give me a whistle if you hear anything. And she's gonna try to go into the house. She memorized the words. And it don't look like it's gonna go good for her, because when she does, the house opens up like some Amityville monster style type shit. And she's like, dreadful, sorry little one, I'm only interested in fruit from one family tree. But nobody who knocks on my door is ever sent away. And her shoe is left behind, and Jenny is gone. So that's gonna be something for Alice to deal with in the real world. I mean, I'm sure he's trying to just figure whatever he can to get her to want to come live in the dollhouse. But now she's gonna have to give up. She's gonna have to sacrifice somebody else, because the house just ate her on his own. That's who she wanted. That's who the house wanted her to sacrifice so that she could get to live in the house. But tell me, this variant cover isn't absolutely awesome. I almost wanted to pick it up with Alice holding the hammer, dripping blood, and her father's head caved in. Wow, like I should have picked that up, because I like to pick these up just to go along, like with the Hill House logo up top and stuff, and then the Sea Dogs. But that cover was awesome. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this issue. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button on your way out, hitting that subscribe, hitting that bell notification so you get all updates on upcoming videos, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.